What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the spinoff, another edition, of course. And today, fans, my audience, Husker Nation, look who I got with me today. Mr. Number three, former wingback for Nebraska, a position we don't hear of anymore, Riley Washington. Riley Washington, thank you so much for joining me today, sir.
Oh man, it's a pleasure. Definitely a pleasure.
So I'm just going to roll right into it. Look, you went to
You
high
still there?
school. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You went to high school in San Diego Southwest High School, and you played running back and defensive back.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as running back, you got to let my
Yep.
audience know. I saw some of your stats, and man, they were staggering, staggering. So why don't you tell my audience how much you enjoyed playing running back, and then we can get into what you also did off the field in high school.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Playing running back in high school was it was pretty interesting. I got into that position. A good friend of mine, Hubert Phillips, ended up playing for New Mexico State. Was a he probably like 215, 6'3", something like that. Big guy. I'm in high school. I'm 5'9", 135, soaking wet. Never played organized football before. And he was like, go off for running back. So I went out for running back, and that's what happened. And I got in that position, and I just liked the contact. I liked the act of getting the ball a lot. We had a running offense. We had split backs. So it was getting the ball left, getting the ball right up the gut. It was me. I was happy with it. And yeah, it was a blast. It definitely was a blast. Yeah.
So, if I'm not
It was
mistaken, your junior and senior year, you rushed for over 1,000 yards in both, didn't you?
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I think I might have been 15 on each year, I believe. Some close to that. But I was really not having any experience of playing running back or even playing organized tackle football to my sophomore year in high school. I never played Pop Warner, never played youth football. Um, so it was definitely for me, it was go time. I just did it. It wasn't like I had previous experience of doing it. I just watched the guys in front of me that were doing it and copied those guys and went from there with it and it worked out for me. Speed helped me.
Hey, they always say speed kills, man. And I'm glad you brought that up. Perfect segue. Man, you ran track in high school. Now, I got to bring this up because looking at your bio, I couldn't believe this. I didn't even know this. You were the fastest 100-meter prep time in the country as a senior with a 10.34-second 100 meter. What did that feel like to be the fastest man in high school in the country?
Honestly, when that happened, it was my senior year. So I already saw my letter of intent for Nebraska. I really didn't anticipate doing much else with that. So it never really set in on me until later on. That was the same year in '92 that I got invited to the Olympic trials in Atlanta, and I didn't go.
Why
I
not?
just signed
Why
my
not? Why not, Riley?
it's it's one of those I wish I would have moments, 'cause I've always had a dream of running the Olympics. That's always been my dream from the time I was 5 years old on up. And for some reason, when I signed that letter of intent to go to Nebraska, it's like almost like nothing else really mattered. I know it sounds weird, but it's not like nothing else mattered at that point. I'm like, I'm not worried about the Olympic trials. I'm not worried about anything right now. I'm just working out right now and going to Nebraska. Because at that my senior year, my actual football coach, he actually left. So my after my senior year, after football season. So during track, I didn't have my same track coach. I didn't have a sprint coach when I was in high school, my senior year. So the steps that got me to that was Jack Stark. He was a head psychologist at Nebraska at the time, and he sent me some audio tapes about visualization and seeing things in your head first. And I did that, and it's one of my favorite stories because I went through this whole process of visualization and envisioning myself running this race at the state meet in every aspect. I mean, I was an ant on the ground. I was a bird in the sky. I was a clouds. I could smell the grass, and I was just doing all this through visualization. Well, the odd thing about that was is because I had done it so much, my actual thought process wasn't in anything. So when the gun went off, I actually blacked out. I've never seen that race.
So
So I have no
you've never seen
I,
this thing.
I have never seen that race from 1992.
It,
I've been
it
looking for I've been looking for it and I cannot find that race. But I've never seen it. But what I came back to was my freshman year in Nebraska, I ran indoor track
mhm.
and I kept doing the same thing, the same visualization. Well, this time there's an actual picture snapped of me running the 60 meters and my eyes were closed. And I said, and I actually tied the indoor record that same day.
So it almost makes it look like you
So
ran the whole thing with your eyes closed.
I was an autopilot. I was an autopilot. So if you ever get a video of that track meet from 1992 in California, I'd love to see it because I've never seen it.
I'll tell you, there's got to be archive footage somewhere. And the way social media is, the internet, everything this day, we've got to
Yeah,
be able to start something to find that.
I want to see that. I just want to see it. Just if it's just one time, I want to see that race because I really have no idea how I looked in that race. The gun went off and I crossed the finish line, and that's all I remember.
There's nothing wrong with that. You can attribute that to just like anybody that plays professional sports. They say they can never hear the crowd. They don't hear anything else. Everything is completely blocked out. And it sounds to me like you went even above and beyond just blocking
Yeah,
something out.
yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I did, and it was I mean, if we're talking about just like the track is what I like to talk about. I mean, that's just what was my go-to thing. So that senior year, like I said, I had no track coach that was an actual sprint coach. My long distance coach ended up taking me to the track meet, and I used his long distance running shoes to run the 100. And on the prelims of San Diego County, um, I hit the gun so fast they almost called it a false start.
Ooh.
Now in high school, you got the one you got two false starts in high school. So had I actually false started on that first time, I would have been done and never gone to the state meet. So then I get to the state meet and I don't even win my heat. So when we get to the finals, I'm in lane 8 by the fence next to the hurdles. And this is the finals of the state track meet. And I'm not even in lane 4, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Oh, I'm in lane 8 by the fence. And so I was pretty much in my own world at that point in time. I was working out. I had my audio tapes I listened to. Um, and I was working out. I was getting stronger. So yeah, everything just kind of came together at that last meet. And that's probably why it's so special, but I've never seen it. Because the previous year they had Dan and Dave O'Brien. Remember those guys from the
Yes.
Olympics, those two brothers that yeah, they were really big. Well, that was the previous year was in California. So it was all on every media outlet. The very next year it was crickets. There was no one at the state track meet. So I see why I don't have any footage of it, but I'm pretty sure someone has to have a video of their kid running from their school or something. But I have not been able to track it down and find out. So
Like I said, there's absolutely no way that there is no footage somewhere. And we've got to be able to find it.
I would hope so.
I would hope
I mean,
so
at
for
this
your
day and
sake as
age. I
well.
mean,
I mean,
I went to YouTube. Well, I went on YouTube. I did find a video of the state track where I got third, but Napoleon Kaufman, remember that name? He played for
yes.
the Raiders and played for Washington, University of Washington.
Yep.
He won it that same year. So he was on park. So that year was off obviously on video, but after that it was no video for that I ever saw. So then, long story short, we fast forwarding. I'm coming to Nebraska now. I'm just excited about coming to Nebraska. Honestly speaking, though, I was a Colorado fan. I didn't even know about Nebraska until they played Colorado and they got beat. And I was like, oh, huh. I like
Mm.
Darren Hagen and Eric Bieniemy. Those are my guys. I'm going to Colorado.
Yeah, those are
And
names
they
that
recruited me as a cornerback for Colorado.
Those are names that Husker fans
Yeah,
remember and not too
yeah,
fondly either.
yeah. Once I got here, I realized those names they do strike a little bit of something. Those aren't good names in Nebraska.
No, no, no. Pretty much anything
Well, I
associated
came
with
to my recruiting
Colorado.
trip to Nebraska first.
Okay.
Yeah, Colorado, Oklahoma too. Same thing too. Yeah, yeah, I'm aware I'm aware of those too. Yeah, so but I went to Nebraska for my recruiting trip. It was December 19th, 1991. Never forget that because it was super cold here. And I didn't have a jacket.
Oh no.
I had a sweater. No, I had a sweater because I saw on TV you wear sweaters when it's cold. So I had a sweater, but no one said anything about loose knit sweaters that have holes this big in them versus regular sweatshirts. So yeah, I had a green one. And it was holes as big as a fishnet in there, so it didn't work out too well for me. But despite all of that, I had a great recruiting trip. They showed me the academic center because I was big into academics. So I saw the academic center, and this is prior to Apple and Windows and all of that. We had a
Yeah.
bunch of stations set up though, but we had a lot of help and we had tutors, so that kind of swayed me. And after that, I just didn't want to go to any more trips. I went to a couple trips before that one, came to Nebraska, and then I was just done. I was like, I'm done. I'm going to
And
Nebraska. It was already official.
see, I was looking at your other offers. I mean, you had choices between it was Colorado, UCLA, Fresno State, Oregon State. And I mean, that would have, other than Colorado, would have kept you on the West Coast. What ultimately led to it being Nebraska being the farthest offer away from home? What was the deciding factor that Nebraska was it?
I haven't really given it much thought as far as like what factors specifically swayed my decision, but looking back now, it was a bunch of them. One of the things was I wasn't a rebel growing up as far as getting home, but I wanted to go somewhere that wasn't easily for me to get back home. And UCLA would have been an hour and a half drive to San Diego, an hour drive. I didn't want to be too close to home because that was too much temptation for me to come back home and be around the wrong people in a sense. So part of that was me getting away from that. And then when I got to Nebraska for my recruiting trip, Abdul Muhammad was my host, and he's a Cali guy himself, Compton. You know, I'm one of my best friends. And he was up here, and I'm like, well, if he's from California and he's up here in Nebraska, and then I met a few other guys from the West Coast, and I was like, maybe it's not, maybe it's not so bad. I won't be by myself out here. It's kind of far from home, but I'm still got some California still here with me. It was pretty cool. And then the training table was also nice too. They had some pretty good food there. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
we,
thought
we
I'd make that commitment and come on to Nebraska.
yeah,
Mhm.
we hear about the legendary feeding table that it feeds the pipeline, feeds the defensive linemen. Nobody talks about the smaller stature guys, your wingbacks, your running backs. You guys eat almost as much as them, and just like they do.
We were the itty bitty committee, remember?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because we were all like 5'9" and weigh less than 170. We couldn't play at that position at that height. 5'9" playing receiver? Man, get out of here.
Yeah,
And
I
we were all
remember
we were all fast.
that's all they ever talked about going into that 94 Orange Bowl is, yeah, like Nebraska defensive backs. Can they stack up against the Miami receivers? And can the Nebraska receivers get free from the Miami corners? I mean, we all know what happened. So, yeah, obviously you could.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
And what they didn't realize is that they were playing Nebraska. So it didn't matter if we could get away from them or not. We were going at them. We were going at the cornerback, trying to chop block them. So it worked out great.
yeah, it seems to me that the like almost the announcers didn't realize Miami's playing against Nebraska. The receivers are going to be doing blocking 90% of the game. So trying to cover them, I don't know what you're trying to analyze there, but you're not going to have to worry about that stat really.
They didn't get the memo.
So was that something
You
that?
know, it's a
Oh no, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
funny funny story on that. Coach Brown, he was telling us that he had went to a coaching clinic after that. Might have been in Dallas, and the Miami's defensive coaches was there, and they were down there talking about the game, just talking about it. And I recall Coach Brown saying they said to him, "Yeah, our guys were crying after the game." And so Coach Brown was like, "Well, yeah, it was a pretty emotional game. It was a national championship game. It was pretty emotional. A lot of things were on the field." And he was like, "No, they were crying because they were in so much pain because they had never been hit so many times in a game because your receivers just kept chop blocking them every play. Even when the play was going to the other side of the field, our guys were getting chop blocked on the backside. It was a physical game." So yeah, they cried from pain.
See, I wish that's something Abdul would have told me. I had him on earlier on the show. That's something he didn't tell. He didn't tell me you guys made their corners and defensive backs cry. All right.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm pretty sure we made other teams feel just as bad.
So, as a scholarship athlete in football, but not track, and obviously a tremendous talent in track. So, how was it that you were offered a scholarship in football and not track?
I don't think it was a matter of not being offered a scholarship. I think the benefit to me playing football allowed me to also run track. And that gave them an opportunity to keep a scholarship under the track program. Because obviously football is king. Football has a lot more revenue coming in than track. Track was a great program. They did great things. They won championships and what have you, but the revenue wasn't the same. And so me being as a track athlete on a scholarship, I couldn't have played football because it's a little bit different when your legs are everything when you're running track. Then to go play football and twist an ankle or blow a knee out, it's a loss to a track team. Whereas me running track from the football program, it was a benefit.
And see, that makes sense. You always hear that coaches didn't want players, playing pickup games of basketball, things like that. In cases of what you just talked about, in case you sprain an ankle, you tear an ACL, heaven forbid. So, I mean, was that something the coaches really tried to keep you guys away from on the side, especially during off season?
Honestly, I don't recall ever being told not to do anything. I mean, we had a lot of guys that play basketball. We play basketball like I mean, not myself personally, but a lot of guys play real physical basketball. We played competitive basketball against the basketball team, against like the rec center. It was never anybody said about don't do anything outside of football. I think they actually encourage you to go run track and do other sports to kind of keep yourself rounded out and keep yourself in shape, as opposed to just working out, running, going home. I mean, you get more workout by doing a track workout, you know, as opposed to just going lifting weights, running and cooking, and you go home. So it was a benefit to us doing other sports. I just think that the other way around with football being as physical as it is compared to track, to lose somebody on a track scholarship playing football is a bigger blow.
Absolutely. And I wanted to talk about something that, yeah, I remember the local news stations. This was right after the championship in '94, right after the Orange Bowl. They were talking about your end around play during, I believe it was the first half of that game. And I specifically remember them talking about
Uh-huh.
how they looked at that as a turning point in that game that really opened up the offense. And I actually went back
Mm-hmm.
and looked at that, even as young as I was. And I looked and I said, you know what, that's right, because it really got Miami's defense off key. It really put them back on their heels a bit because we kind of got off of what we normally do as far as the Nebraska offense is. Now, as far as you being the man that ran that play, what are your thoughts on that? Did you see a change in Miami's defense as far as a scheme goes, or what they were thinking and how they moved after that play?
No, I'll be 100% honest. I saw the shift, but I didn't think that what I did caused any kind of a shift. I felt like, um, no, I never felt like what I did in that particular play I won't say made a difference, but swayed the way the game went. You know, I think we were already building that momentum up, and I think maybe it was a surprise wrinkle, but I think it was going to go that way regardless. Personally speaking, in family, but yeah, just for me personally, I just thought it was just part of a team, actually a full team mentality of I'm just gonna do my part in this play right now, and we'll see where it goes.
I'll tell you,
And
I've
then
seen
I think
that.
the next
I've
play
seen
or a
that
couple plays
play.
later, I think it was Mark. Did you see the hit?
Yes, the end of the play. I'll tell you what,
Everybody keeps saying,
man, man, that was a collision. And I'll tell you, it looked like
yeah,
two trucks just, and neither one of you gave an inch. That was the amazing part. It was just boom, and then you fell forward for about
yeah,
another yard or two. I mean, that was probably the hardest hit of the whole game.
yeah. I hear it a lot. That was Ray Lewis. So
Yeah.
Ray Lewis lit you up. I'm like, honestly speaking, I don't recall it. It was too much adrenaline rushing at that time for me to really feel like, oh my God, I just hit. It didn't feel that bad. It just felt like it was a hit. I popped up with the sideline. I was like, woo,
I'll tell you, I
woo,
think I think you gained some respect from
okay.
Ray Lewis right after that play because he didn't say anything. He wasn't running his mouth, wasn't doing any swagger. I think you gained some respect from him on that because I think he felt it just as much. So it doesn't matter.
Oh, well, I'm glad you said that. Now I can take that with solace now and go, okay, yes, okay. I blew. Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. I smashed Ray Lewis.
That's right. That's something. Yeah, carry that with you because I'm telling you, I've seen it over and over so many times that it's as if I just watched it before we started today. And yeah, he got up and knew that he had a collision on that one. That's for sure.
It was a game. Yeah, they knew they was in for a game, the whole game.
So everybody talks about that game and Coach Osborne being like, I guess what everybody says, like Yoda. He predicted the entire game as far as what Miami would do, extracurricular wise, of course, telling you to keep your cool, make sure that you don't retaliate. Is that really how it went? I mean, I know I've had recounts from former players that were there, Abdul being one of them. Is that really how it went?
100%.
It's the same
A
answer I
hundred
get from
percent.
everybody.
It
Everybody
was
says
almost
100%.
it was almost scary how he could predict the way things would turn out in the game. I mean, because we know the year we played Florida for the championship, he told us, he said, if we play, he said, he said, if we perform the same way we did against Missouri, we will beat them like that. We beat Missouri that year, what, 70-0? And this is the national championship game. He said took that exact same thing. Hey, we'll beat these guys like we did Missouri. And sure enough, almost made it happen. 64 points, but not he was almost there. He
I'll
was
tell
he
you,
was just that guy. I mean, he was really diligent about prepping for a game. At least from what I could see, the coaches were prepped of it, and he was pretty well versed about knowing what guy could do what. You know, so if you just did what he's set to do, it was almost like a 99% success rate. Just do what he says to do.
and that's what I always seem to have caught watching Coach Osborne growing up was he was able to take people, and it didn't matter if you were a 1 star, 2, 3 star recruit. He could make you better than what you even thought you could be on the field.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. He used psychology to its fullest.
Yeah, I gotta say, growing up, I always hoped I would have played for the man. Never worked out, but I'm glad you guys got to. You guys got to experience that. It's an amazing. It had to have been an amazing feeling to play for Coach Osborne. Now,
You know, it was, Brian. I mean, it was. And one thing I got to say about Osborne, too, the man's memory is almost ridiculous. I mean, can you imagine how many players have come and gone from this program in his tenure of being here? And
no.
I saw this man probably like 5 or 6 years after I graduated. I was at the airport in Minneapolis from a business trip in New Orleans. He happened to be coming from DC. He saw me in the airport. Hey, Riley, how's your mom and dad doing? Your brother still doing this? I was like, hey, coach, how you doing? He remembered all of that. And I'm like, I know I wasn't special. You know what I mean? Out of all the players that came to this university, he still knew my name. He still knew my parents' name, what they still did, how they were doing. That to me is amazing. You know, that's amazing to me. I mean, as far as from a memory standpoint. I mean, at least he's got a great memory or he cares a whole bunch. And I go with the latter. I think he just cared a whole bunch.
I think you're absolutely right. I think that's what Scott's trying to bring back to the program now, and so hopefully that's what we see coming up soon. Hopefully.
Yeah, at this point in time, all I can do is speculate because I mean I'm not there. I don't know what goes on in the workings anymore.
Yep.
So as a fan, I just sit back here and I'll watch and I'll watch, and I'll watch and I'll watch, and then we'll see how it goes.
We watch some more. We watch some
Yeah,
more.
yeah. We throw a few things and break a few things, but we're back. We're still here.
So winding down through college, getting toward the end of your senior year, what was football or track in your mind? Was that gonna one of the two a possible career path after college?
Honestly, honestly, Brian, when it was all said and done, in light of the other situations that I was dealing with during the same time frame, once I graduated, I really didn't have any actual plan. Like I didn't have any idea. Like I had a plan to say, hey, I'm going to college. I'm graduating in 4 years, and after that, I didn't have a plan. I didn't like. I never had any aspirations of playing in the NFL. That was never my conquest. Like I just never really cared about that. Never thought about it. As far as like track, it was the Olympics, and you saw I passed that up. So I didn't, Then I had another opportunity because I was running track at Nebraska. There was a guy named John Reese played corner for Nebraska. He was
Yep.
also part of the Braves organization, and they came up here one year to do something with him. Saw me running track and offered to pay for my school for me to run bases for the Braves, and I was like, no, no. Why? I had no idea about baseball. I don't play baseball, but I had the money in life. It never really sank into me like as far as saying, well, I can go over here and make a lot of money. I never saw it like that. I never saw like I need to have a lot of money. I did it because I liked it. And so when I graduated in 4 years, I got done, and then reality hit. I can't find a job anywhere. It's like you paycheck to paycheck. But you know, in retrospect, obviously, if we could do things again, I might have given it a couple shots to the NFL, or I might have, because I got offered to run for this Santa Monica Track Club too. That was Carl Lewis's track club. That was my
Oh,
freshman year.
oh
Yeah,
wow.
obviously, I didn't do that either. So I've passed up quite a few opportunities, but I don't see them that way. I don't see them as losses. It was just something that was there that when I was there, and it wasn't what I was into at the time, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah, if you didn't feel like you could have given it everything that you gave to football or your high school athletics or your academics, what's really the point? You're almost wasting their time as much as you're wasting yours.
Well, I wouldn't even say so much as that. I'm saying more on the lines of my interest wasn't there. Like, yeah, I ran track. I love that track club. I used to follow the track club and Carl Lewis and those track guys, and I envied those guys. But when they came knocking, I was playing football, so I didn't really care about that no more.
Hey,
And then
you
when
were killing it on the football field, so that's all right. We as
hey,
Husker fans, we're thankful.
I did my best.
Hey, you
I
did.
did my best.
All right, so all right, bringing your college career to an end. You've graduated. Reality's kind of hit you. You're just like, all right, now I'm going to figure something out. Come to find out, how did becoming a licensed barber become a career choice? I gotta
Yeah.
know. I gotta know.
How did I become a barber, huh? Well, let's see. I'm gonna bring things real quick. 2007, 2008, I deal with like mortgages and insurance through a company here in Lincoln. And the bubble hit in 2008, so things got a little crazy and what have you. So ended up getting fired from that job. I left from that job and went right to Abbott Sports Complex. I was doing a football program out there with Vershawn Jackson, as a matter of fact. He was the program head. I was out there coaching out there. He moved on. At that point in time, I took over the program. So I was there for about 9 years running the program. Things go great. The story with Abbott is a story in of itself. So we won't even go down the Abbott rabbit hole. But that ended up not panning out. Left from there, I was a plant manager at a precast stone company here in Lincoln. So precast concrete. So I did that for a year and a half, 2 years. It became seasonal work. I wasn't with seasonal work. I had a family to take care of. So I wasn't worried about seasonal work. I'm on some full time. Left from there. They offered me back with the new GM. I came back, much more pay. I was pretty much all right. Problem now is the owner is 80 years old.
Ooh.
He's ready to sell the company off now. So at the last day with 3 employees that worked there entirely. 3 employees, no receptionists, nobody, the 3 employees, and that was it. And that was, I want to say, March 28th or 26th. And I enrolled in barbering, get my barbering license April. Because I felt at that point in time, I've been working for everybody else and being dictated to as far as what I could do and when I could do it and how I could do it and how I wanted my own opportunity to do my own thing. And I've always had that creative hand, that creative touch, and I've cut hair here and there, what have you. But I've always had that creativity side to me. And I figured, well, you know what? Why not? Because at least with barbering, I can kind of show my creativity. I'm in charge of my situation. If I don't like it over here, I go to the barbershop. Now, obviously, there's more to it than that, but I have more control over what I do and how I do it, which is what I wanted. Basically, freedom, freedom to get what I'm worth in a sense. So I've been doing it ever since. And I get that same question all the time, like, how did you get? Why are you doing barbering? I was like, yeah, and I was 44 years old when I started school for it, and I'm almost disappointed that I didn't do it earlier.
Now, see, I'm from a small
So
town in
yeah,
Nebraska. I gotta know. I love the movie Barbershop for one. The movie is hilarious. I got so in where I live, we don't have small town barbershops. Even though it's a small town, we don't have that. We get a couple big chains, and you don't
oh
you
yeah,
don't get that intimate like talk sessions. Is that what you have? Is that do you get to do that, and is it that much fun?
honestly, every barbershop has its own culture in a sense. Um, the barbershop that I'm at now, for me personally, the last one was an okay barbershop, nothing against them at all. But where I'm at right now, it's a barbershop. It's a come on in, we gonna bullshit with you. We might offer you a beer, we gonna talk some shit to you, talk bad about you, play some old school music. The guy, his name is Matt Hensley, he's at Hensley's Barbershop. He's a car guy. He's a bullshitter. We have a blast, man. And it's one of those deals where, I don't mind. I look forward to coming in every day. No matter how slow I may be as far as customers and clients, I look forward to coming in every day because it's always something that I can learn from that day. a new smart ass comeback, something witty to say, and so it's just a good environment, man. And it's a very diverse environment. I mean, we get pretty much any and everybody in there. You name it, they probably been in there at least once.
Yeah, I'm
So
gonna have to come in there next time I need a cut.
yeah, most definitely,
Man, I know where I'm going
most
next time I need a
definitely.
cut.
South 10th.
Perfect. All right. So, Riley, I'm going to go ahead. This is what I do at the end of every episode. I am going to turn this platform over to you, my friend. Let people know where they can find you as far as personally, social media, and maybe some other charities or organizations you may be a part of. This is your time. Go right ahead.
All right. Well, Brian, I want to again thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate everything. I'm here in town. I'm cutting hair. We discussed this earlier. Right now, I do men's barbering services. You need a beard trim. You need a haircut. You need a anal wax. I don't do those, but Matt does those. I don't do those, but Matt Hensley's. You go to his Booksy, look up anal waxing. He's got you, bro. He's got you. Come on down and see him. But me personally, you need a haircut. You need a beard trim. You need a scalp massage. You need a massage oils. You need hair products. Come and see me. I'm at Hensley's Barbershop, 2010 South 10th Street. Um, Organizations I'm involved with, the Phoenix Mix. It's a nonprofit organization here in Lincoln. A friend of mine named Daryl Stewart is the president of the company. He does a lot for the environment, for the community here. He also runs a football program in lieu with Abbott Sports Complex, oddly enough, and Michael Hunter. They run a football program, a tackle football program for youth. I help out with that whenever I can, whenever I'm needed. I'm pretty much the guy. If you need something from me, give me a call. Let me know. I'll see what I can do for you. If it's involving the kids or anything like that, you can almost guarantee I'll be there. Um, but yeah, you just need to reach out, say what's happening, come down to the shop, drop in and see me, say hi. Social media, you can find me on Instagram as Unk the Barber, UNKTHABARBER. That's the same thing for Facebook and Instagram. As far as TikTok and all that stuff right there, I'm not really a TikToker yet, y'all. So you probably won't see me on TikTok or anything else like that. Snapchat, probably not. But those old school platforms, you might find me on MySpace.
Oh, no, you didn't, Riley. You busted
You
out
might
my
see me.
space, man. Oh,
You
oh,
might see me on MySpace or Black Planet.
oh,
I'll be
man.
around. But again, look me up, check me out. I'll be more than happy to take care of you. I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere.
Oh man, Riley, this has been a blast. I gotta close this out, unfortunately. So I will give my sign off. All right, folks. That man, I'm crying. That was hilarious. That was great. Oh my goodness. All right, so you guys, you'll be able to find this on YouTube, of course, under my name, Brian Knutson. You'll be able to find me on Twitter at Knutson_Brian. Find me on Facebook. It's under my name as well. I sound like a broken record, Brian Knutson. You'll find me there. You can find the audio for this only will be on pretty much anywhere you can find podcasts. You'll find that under the Scarlet and the Cream Husker podcast. And that, like I said, pretty much anywhere you can find podcasts, it'll be up there. So, everybody, to my guest, Riley Washington, today, to everybody that ends up watching or listening, thank you guys so much. Riley, we're gonna have to have you on again soon. We'll get Abdul on here. We're gonna have to have like a Husker roundtable for
Yes,
the
let's do that.
offensive side. Absolutely.
Let's do it.
All right, Riley, thank you so much. Signing off. We will see you guys again soon. Thank you, Riley.
Peace. Peace.